do you have a second? What are you up to right now?
Oh, not much. Just working on my robot with a gun.
Nice! Better idea. How about you help me on my epic new Grand Archive deck I've been thinking of?
Oh, sure, yeah, building a robot with a gun is pretty easy, so I'm sure I can help you build a Grand Archive deck at the same time.
Swag. So here's the idea I was thinking. I really want to make a deck that focuses on interaction with your graveyard. So of course, my brain first went to Avalon Domains. That's got to be a must-have. Other things I need to do to really get some value out of that discard pile, of course floating memory, but I also thought about throwing in a Mistbound Cutthroat. I feel like it's a really underrated card and could really do some work.
Oh yeah, well, you should probably check out Ranger cards.
And see, the problem I'm having is I can get the domain set up just fine, but I feel like I'm not making it have enough value. It's tough to find cards that, count value in the graveyard, and I'm thinking that maybe there might be some epic new domains in set 3 that could really help out with this.
Yeah, I get that. Well, there's this Ranger...
And the problem is, it gets even worse because the Cutthroats are cool and all, and they can do some damage, but I really need that big closer, the thing that can just really dunk on the opponent, which kind of shoehorns me into playing Tamer because I need to play the Serpent. But with all the other stuff the Tamer runs, I can't really fit it in there with the other stuff I got going on.
Jordan, you aren't gonna believe this, but there's this Ranger...
And plus, Lakeside Serpent doesn't even set itself up, and it's something that can hit super hard, but even when it doesn't, I want it to do other things that work with the rest of my graveyard play and self-milling. There's just nothing that does exactly what I want it to, and I can't think of what to do.
Jordan! Shut up so I can show everyone these new Ranger cards. What's up everyone, it's Dan with Main Deck, and today I am super excited to bring you our exclusive Grand Archive TCG Set 3 Alchemical Revolution spoilers. Thank you so much to Weebs of the Shore for providing us these spoilers so that we can show them off and get you guys hyped about Alchemical Revolution. Our spoilers today are 2 cards, Navigate the Streets, and Dahlia, Idyllic Dreamer. Let's take a look at them. Navigate the Streets is a 1-cost, slow-action, Ranger skill, Norm element card with the following ability, Glimpse 1+X, where X is the amount of domains you control, and it also has floating memory with no class bonus, no level requirement, nothing like that. This is a very fascinating card, a bit reminiscent of Idle Thoughts, which allows you to rearrange the top 4 cards of your deck. However, this actually allows you to get cards out of that top set of cards if you don't want them there. So this looks like it could work very well in water decks in the same way that Idle Thoughts does, allowing you to set up the top cards of your deck for cards like Deep Sea Fractal or Tide Diviner to mill just the right cards into your graveyard. And then that floating memory, of course, always is a nice benefit if you're playing a deck that already is looking to self-mill. Now, the interesting thing about this card is currently very unlikely that the decks have a lot of domains in play, so we are very curious to see if Set 3 includes more domains that maybe don't have such strict upkeep costs, ones you can just have in play to have certain effects. I think that would really increase the playability of Navigate the Streets, to take it from above just a Glimpse 1 to a Glimpse 2, 3, something like that, where I think you'll really start to feel like there is some potential actual value here. It does compare quite a bit to cards like Scry the Skies, but just doesn't, Scry 15 or something like Scry the Skies does in a late game Rye deck. But Navigate the Streets is a fascinating card that is going to, I think, have a home in the right deck depending on how the domains shake out. As we mentioned in that little sketch at the front, obviously combining this with cards like Avalon could see some nice play, at the very least at a casual table, if not potentially becoming something competitive depending on the other support we see in Alchemical Revolution. Now, speaking of other support, we are very excited to get to show you Dahlia, Idyllic Dreamer. Here is her normal version, and of course what we want to do is look at the beautiful CSR version, which we're going to pop on the screen right there as well. Dahlia, Idyllic Dreamer is a 3-cost unique ally Ranger automaton with 1 power and 3 life, and she has class bonus. On attack, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a water element card, you may put it into your graveyard. So Already, she is a little machine, just like cards like Deep Sea Fractal, who's able to start to mill cards into your graveyard as you need to, getting those key floating memory cards. Now, unfortunately, she can't put Navigate the Streets in because it's not a water element card, but hey, if you know water, they've got lots of floating memory options and potentially other things like Mistbound Cutthroat that you might want to be milling. So there does appear to be a range of options for what Dahlia is going to help you do. But let's not leave it at just that. She actually has her own built-in combo because Dahlia also gains Ranged X, where X is the amount of water element cards in your graveyard. Now, if you missed our whole breakdown of how the three classes work, we do have that video linked in the description below. We have a long deep dive into our thoughts on all the initial previews, but the thing to know is that Ranged X means that a unit with Ranged X is going to get plus X power when it has Distant, the Distant status. And so Dahlia Idyllic Dreamer, a lot like cards like Lakeside Serpent, has the ability to be a massive powerhouse in the late game when you start to find ways to mill a whole lot of cards. Again, we're looking at cards like Tide Diviner, but of course she just sets herself up too. While you are going to have to set that Distant up in order to get the bonus, it's a huge benefit that she is able to attack without Pride and that she has the ability just to start to accrue you value even if she's not getting to that stage where she can push through for a ton of damage with ranged. And not only that, her ability will help you find a card to make her distant if you need to. I think that has the potential to be a very underrated portion of this card, her ability just to dig you into the card to set up that distant ranged combo is going to make her a lot more likely to get it to fire off as games go late. Now, we have yet to see just enough Ranger cards to really know how playable Dahlia is, but on the surface level, her stats are okay for her cost. Her class bonus on attack is very good, potentially accruing you +1 card a turn if you're finding floating memory cards. And her ability to dunk when she gets distant is sort of what pushes her, I think, over the edge into quite a playable card at my sort of surface level analysis. I can't wait to see what the rest of Ranger's kit looks like so we can figure out what kind of water Ranger decks exist, but Dahlia seems like in the right deck, she will be an absolute linchpin and the card you are building the entire deck around. The kind of card that I get very excited about, one that is able to accrue you value and also be the main endgame threat as the game goes late. So those are our two preview cards for Alchemical Revolution, Navigate the Streets, and Dahlia Idyllic Dreamer. I am very excited to hear what you guys think about these cards. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Dahlia is going to have a place? Do you think we're going to see more domains to make Navigate the Streets that much more powerful? I want to hear your speculation, all your crazy thoughts down in the comments below, and make sure you hit your local game store up for Alchemical Revolution. It does release January 26th. It is going to be a very exciting start of the year, and if you don't have an LGS, there are plenty of online retailers. There's one right at the end of our video here as well, who would love to ship you some Grand Archive products. So make sure you get those pre-orders in and get excited because the release of these 3 new classes is going to make the metagame absolutely nuts in Grand Archive, and I can't wait to explore it. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.